Monday Night Raw starts off with a Judgment Day promo. Judgment Day starts mentioning, Dom and Rhea, Terror Twins. They mentioning their justifications for why they turned on them and said that they stabbed, them in the back first and that everything they're doing is justified. Then, for a while, they just kind of ramble on for a bit. The crowd is booing them. Dom trying to, talk to the fans, but the fans won't let him. Then LWO ends up coming out. They come to the ring. Rey Mysterio basically ends up saying that someone needs to finally put Dominic in his place and that he will be the person that will do it. They go back and forth for a bit, and then they eventually end up brawling. LWO end up getting the upper hand. They end up standing tall, and this leads into a 8-man tag match. 8-man tag match between LWO versus Judgment Day. Rey Mysterio was about to hit a dive. Yeah, he was about to hit a dive on Dominic, but Liv Morgan ends up pulling Dominic Mysterio out the way, which allowed Dominic to take advantage, and Dominic Mysterio ends up pinning his father once again, taking another victory over his dad. After the match, the whole entire Judgment Day ends up attacking LWO. They was finna put Rey Mysterio through a table. Don was about to dive onto the announce table onto Rey Mysterio, but then the Terror Twins, Rhea and Damien, my mistake. Rhea and Damien ends up coming out, ended up making the save, and that's the end of the segment there. I love what they did here. This was really good for the go home show of before Bash in Berlin. I'm excited for the mixed tag match between Rhea, Damien versus Liv and Dom. Can't wait to see how that match plays out. This was overall a good segment. I love what they did here. Now we have Damage Control versus Pew Fusion Collection. Not going to speak too much on this match because this match was very predictable. During the match, Selena Vega ends up making her return, ends up attacking Sonya Deville, and next week she's going to face Shayna Baszler, trying to get more of her revenge. This match, I wasn't really that invested in because I already knew Damage Control was going to win. It was very obvious, and I don't care for this feud mainly because there's nothing to care about. There's nothing to fight for. There's no personal reasons for them to fight. It's just who's the most dominant faction. That's really it. They need more personal feuds for the tag division if they really want to elevate it, but it's not much to really go off of because there's nothing to fight for. It's just who wants to be the best. It's just I can't really get invested in that. We get a quick Drew McIntyre promo. He ends up basically mentioning, the history with CM Punk, talk about the strap match they're gonna have in Bash in Berlin, talking trash. Then during his promo, CM Punk's theme music ends up hitting, but he doesn't come out from the entrance ramp. He ends up attacking Drew McIntyre from behind with the strap. Starts whipping him with the strap. They end up getting to the outside the ring because CM Punk was trying to grab the bracelet but couldn't. Drew ends up getting the upper hand, but then CM Punk ends up making a comeback, ends up running Drew away from out of the arena, and that's in his segment there. Nothing too much. I know a lot of people are saying that this feud is losing steam. I don't think so, but also this feud has been lasting for like almost a year. like it's hard to keep a feud like steaming hot for a year. It's hard to keep that same momentum. Plus, what else can they really do to really elevate this feud? Like they already did everything they need to do, and plus they're just waiting for Bad Blood. That's when the feud most likely is going to pick right back up into it being, at the peak of its, popularity. Right now they don't need to do too much, especially for Bash in Berlin. This is more of this is more to like settle down until like the huge storm. You know what I'm saying? Like it's gonna pick back up. But overall, they've been doing good work. They don't need to do too much anyway. Like how many more promos can they really do on each other? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so this was really good. I love what they did here. Them just brawling, trying to, just attack each other, just want to brutally hurt each other. And I can't wait for their match at Bash in Berlin. Next, we get a triple threat match for the #1 contendership. Well, being part of this is a tournament to see who will face Braun Breaker for his IC title. It was Jey Uso versus Kofi Kingston versus Karrion Kross. This match was fine. It was decent. Jey Uso is advancing. He is one of the 4 members who will be in a fatal 4-way match to see who will face Braun Breaker for the IC title. I pray that Jey Uso lose the tournament because I don't look. As an IWC guy, I do not want to see a bunch of Jey Uso fanboys crying that their favorite wrestler is not going to win a championship that he never had a shot of winning. Like, he's not beating Braun Breaker. I don't know why fans think this. Braun is not losing for a while. I'm not saying he's going to hold it for a year, but he ain't losing anytime soon. So get that through your heads. Jey Uso is not winning. So hopefully he loses the tournament so we don't have to go through that. But please do not have him face Braun for the IC title because no, I do not have time for Jey Uso fanboys to start crying about why their favorite guy couldn't win a singles title. Like, get over it. Like, he's not winning. Next, we get a Randy Orton promo, and I was kind of disappointed about this promo. This was a decent promo. Randy basically talked about, the World Heavyweight Championship, talked about how important it is to him, talked about being the youngest to ever win that title, talked about how he was injured when they reintroduced that title, which was actually true. I forgot that he was injured when they first reintroduced that title. Uh, you know, he really cut a real deep, passionate promo. I was kind of disappointed though that we didn't get Gunther on the show. Well, they showed Gunther, but like not actually like in the ring cutting. I wish they would have gave us another promo of these two to really build up the feud of Bash and Berlin. This was overall not too much to really speak on, but I kind of wish they would have gave another promo between Gunther and Randy. Could have had another brawl as well, in my opinion, to really build up the feud overall. But this was an okay promo, but I'm not going to speak too much on this. Now we got the highlight of the show, in my opinion. Bronson Reed versus Braun Strowman. This match cooked. This match exceeded my expectations. I did not expect this match to cook the way it did. They're brawling, two big dudes showing their brute strength. They're going back and forth. Then we get to a moment. Bronson Reed leaves the ring. He's trying to, leave the ring and try not to fight no more. Braun Strowman trying to continue to fight. They go all the way outside. They end up going towards the entrance route. They're fighting towards the entrance route. Then Bronson goes backstage, goes through gorilla position, and then he ends up picking up a trash can, waiting for Braun Strowman to go to the curtains. Braun Strowman goes to the curtain, and he ends up throwing the trash can at Braun Strowman. Then they start brawling all the way to the parking lot. They're going back and forth, and then Braun Strowman ends up picking up Bronson Reed, slamming him on a car. Then they're still brawling in the parking lot. Bronson Reed ends up getting the upper hand. He ends up picking up some pipe or something, getting the advantage. Braun Strowman is laid out on top of on the roof of the car. Bronson Reed climbs up the crates, the crates that WWE has, and then he climbs up on top of like this concrete area. I can't really explain it, but he ends up jumping like a good 5 to 6 feet, and he ends up jumping on top of the car onto Braun Strowman, and that's how they end the match. That was bro. I have been hyping up Bronson Reed for a while, and I am finally happy that fans are finally realizing how good Bronson Reed is. I keep trying to tell fans, 90% of the reason why you like a wrestler is due to their booking, not due to their talent. Part of it is talent, yes, but majority of the reason why you like the wrestler you like is because of how they're booked. You wouldn't like Randy Orton if he was booked like a jobber. That is a fact. You wouldn't like Stone Cold if he was booked like a jobber. Majority of the reason you like a wrestler is due to if they're booked right. Bronson Reed is finally being booked like the monster that I've been wanting him to be booked. Hopefully they don't derail his momentum, which is something I still fear, because when Seth Rollins comes back, I have a huge fear that Seth Rollins is just going to beat Bronson Reed, and Bronson Reed is also going to be in the tournament for the IC title, and I don't see him beating Braun Breaker, so I don't know how they'll play that. But I am loving what they've been doing. Bronson Reed has been the most exciting thing for me personally on Monday Night Raw, outside of maybe the Judgment Day stuff. Xavier Woods, this is the second triple threat match, qualifying match for the IC title. Pete Dunne is picking up the victory. Not going to speak too much on this. Pete Dunne is picking up the victory. I think he pinned The Miz, if I'm not mistaken. This was a decent match overall. So right now it's Jey Uso and Pete Dunne who are the first two members who's going to be in the last match to qualify to see who's going to be the number one contender for Braun Breaker. I don't know. I know the other matches include Sheamus, Dragunov, so we'll see by next week who will all be in the last match to determine the number one contendership. I don't see Pete Dunne winning. It just doesn't make sense for Pete Dunne to win, even though I would love for him to win. I don't see him winning, but I'm happy that he's just getting the opportunity. Now we got for the main event, Chad Gable versus Uncle Howdy. Uncle Howdy has finally made his in-ring debut, and I would say it delivered. I don't think it was better than the Wyatt 6 debut, but I do think it was a solid debut overall. We get towards the end of the match. Chad Gable had Uncle Howdy in an ankle lock. Uncle Howdy ends up reversing it, which ends up making Chad Gable knock the ref down, which allowed Chad Gable to have some interferences. The Creed brothers ends up interfering into the match. They end up attacking Uncle Howdy. That end up pushing him towards the barricade. Then Uncle Howdy started laughing. Then the Wyatt 6 ends up coming out. They end up making a save. Joe Gacy, Dexter Lumis, and Eric Rowan end up attacking the Creed brothers, and they end up brawling all the way to the backstage. So now it's just Uncle Howdy and Chad Gable. Chad Gable gets back in the ring, tries to attack Uncle Howdy, but Uncle Howdy ends up hitting the sister Abigail and picks up the victory, and that's how we end your Monday Night Raw. Overall, this was a solid, really good show, a really good go-home show. Hopefully, SmackDown can deliver on their go-home show as well. But overall, this was a good, solid show. I'm excited for everything that has happened. The only thing I would say that needs improvement is the tag division. That's really the only complaint I really have about tonight's show, but everything else really hit on everything it needs to hit. But you guys let me know your opinions below. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. But yeah, that's it.